Hello, and welcome to today's podcast, Behind the Numbers, the podcast that seeks the personalities in the finance and technology industry. So before I jump onto our special guest today, I'd like to remind you that today's podcast is brought to you by Kinetic Core AI. Kinetic Core AI are a firm that support finance, technology, and accounting firms grow their profits within 12 months. So if you're interested in free growth consultancy, drop the word grow into the DMs and we can take it from there. So I'm really pleased to have a really special guest on the podcast today, hailing all the way from Miami in the US, bathing herself in sunshine all year round. We have Kelli Lewis. So Kelli is the CEO of Kelli Works, and she's had an illustrious career in the last 15 years working in a variety of sectors, supporting small businesses grow, operational efficiency, and supporting tax strategy and just general finance, accounting and support, growing a reputation for her ability to provide excellent service to these particular clients. She's worked in a plethora of different areas within finance as well, and she brings that expertise to bear with her clients. But I'll stop talking about and let her give her background and tell us a little bit about her services she provides. So Kelli, welcome to today's podcast.
Thank you. Thanks, Matthew. Thanks for having me. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. I think you grasped a lot of it. I'm getting ready to celebrate my 17 years of operations at Kelli Works in upcoming February. So it's been a
Amazing.
wonderful journey. Yeah, working really closely with entrepreneurs, CEOs of small businesses mainly. We've done some fractional CFO work, but the main work that we do is really hand-holding the entrepreneur through all of the rocky roads that is accounting and back office related. It's really been a pleasure working with them. It's been almost 300 companies that we've gone through. So you'll see that they'll start and there may be different reasons why they transition out, but we really pride ourselves on whatever the client has a great experience, whether it's onboarding or offboarding or supporting a new firm that might be coming in, or if they're transitioning to someone, full time in the office, same thing.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like you're offering some great service there. So we'll dive into a little bit about what's going on in Kelli Works in a moment. What we'd really like to understand is a bit more about your background, where you've come from, any experience you want to call out, and the sort of the path that's brought you to where you are today.
Yes. Okay. So I will say, what was it back in 2008 when the world got funky over here? That's what I'll call it.
Say at
I
least.
was working as a controller at a logistics company. And it was a great experience, a lot of hands-on work, but pretty much took care of the entire operation. And I think that's where I fell in love with business. So I don't like to be kind of pigeonholed into just accounting. I love the operations and streamlining things. And it was a startup company. So it was really powerful being a part of that. We did trucking, we did import export, we did warehouse. So I had a lot of my experience came from the logistics world
Yeah.
and that one-on-one working with, my boss who was the CEO. And that's like another topic, the mind of a CEO, like following them and being able to
Yeah.
keep up with them and all their ideas. So yeah, I would say that that's where my core experience came from in the
Awesome.
ground. That's how you teach someone to swim from in water.
Absolutely, straight in the deep end. So was the young Kelli, was it always destined to be in finance, or did you have a different path originally, or were numbers the thing you were always going
No,
to work with?
no, I tell this story because it's funny. I had a job. It was a somewhat commission based, and there was a high earner. She was always closing, and I never closed, and I'm like, wow. Like, and when they're handing out the paychecks, I'm like, I wonder how much money she was making because I know what I was making. It was not. So I'm like, I
Yeah.
wonder how much she's making. And I'm like, how do I figure out how much people make? And so I learned. I'm like, oh, that's a payroll coordinator. So from there,
Mm.
I started my interest in bookkeeping because I was just nosy. I just want to know how much things cost. I wanted to know how much things cost and how much people got paid. That to me was always, and it's still to this day, like even if I visit a client on site and they're like, oh, this is so and so, I know their full name. I'm like, hey, how you doing? 'Cause I know all about you because I pay you. So
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Excellent.
a little quirky part of my story, but entrepreneurship was never a part of the plan, ever.
So
That
it's
was the
just
last thing I thought of. Yeah, when I lost my job at that time,
yeah.
from the logistics company I was telling you about, I just put an ad out on Craigslist and, I met this lady and she needed some help, so I would visit her a couple hours a week, and then she told someone, and then they told someone, and my phone would just start ringing like, "Oh, I'm selling," and be like, "All right, I'll help you.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
call you
and
next." So
and that was the
those
genesis
were
of Kelly Works then.
yes,
So it sounds like even in those days, the sort of the service element to what you were doing was important, right? That sort of brought its way through into what you guys do today.
always been about the service for me. I
Yeah.
am a service provider, and the service I'm providing is accounting.
Yeah.
It's always been my heart, it's my core, it's the values of the firm. Anyone that any team members that we bring on, it's
Mhm.
really service. Because in this industry, you get kind of mixed reviews like, oh, I can never reach my accountant, or
Yeah.
they're always busy, and oh, they don't understand. So that's always been my goal, is to kind of change the math a little bit.
Yeah, and that sounds like a good philosophy. I agree with that. So, what does a average day look like for you then, Kelly?
Tons and tons of emails.
Okay.
No, I said that when on my tombstone, I want them to write, and she never wanted to read your emails because so many emails. But a part of what I love to do is operations, so making things work better. So workflow. So we have a way that we hone in the client communications so that the team can pretty much access that. And then I just have my personal email. So it's a lot of emails. I have a quiet day, which is Wednesday. So that's usually no meetings, no calls, just kind of like a high level activity,
Mm.
deep thought activity, kind of CEO
Yeah.
quiet day. So for Wednesdays. But yeah, we have a team huddle daily.
Yeah.
And then I have a second huddle with my executive assistant, and we just kind of go through things. But I would say it's a very high intensity email. And then I handle all of consultations. So kind of the first touch point for the client. So having those meetings, which I love,
Yeah.
was having conversations.
Yeah. No, excellent.
Yeah. And
Excellent.
just kind of managing the team.
Yeah. Sounds like you're busy. But it sounds like the Wednesday is an important day for you because you can get some headspace to like really focus on the vision, the future, the strategy, as opposed to being on the day to day in the weeds, which can often overtake, and you don't get the ability to sort of keep the business going forward, right, and growing. So sounds like that's a good chunk of time to be able to do that.
Yes, yes. So that's what Wednesdays are. And sometimes, like my assistant's like, I see a call on your calendar on Wednesday. I go, that's VIP. Right. So
Yeah,
if I'm
exactly.
talking to you on a
Yeah, that's sacred ground. Don't do that. No, absolutely. No, you got to keep those. You got to keep that time precious for sure. Yeah. So what we're on talking about Wednesdays and strategy and that sort of stuff. What's the sort of vision do you have for Kelly Works? Where do you want to take it in the next sort of 5 years for you?
it's so funny yesterday. Well, a couple of days ago at lunch, my friend just said it. She goes, small businesses run on Kelly. I started laughing. I mean, I know you're in the UK, but over here, Dunkin' Donuts has a slogan.
Right.
Dunkin' Donuts, the coffee.
I do. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like okay, whatever. And they say America runs on Dunkin'. So
Right.
she
Okay.
goes, small businesses run on Kelly. And I was like, I love that. The idea is to, you can't service everyone. So that's not the idea. And especially over the last 17 years, being more selective of the clients that we take on to make sure that it's a good fit. But I would say that the vision and the idea is to really, like I said earlier, to kind of change the narrative of what the accountant experience is,
Yeah.
really to feel like your accounting, your financial professional is your business manager. Like they're
Yeah.
in business with you. They understand your goals. They're accessible. They have check-ins. Really to just kind of change the narrative a little on the industry, than to continue
Mm.
to work with small businesses.
Yeah.
really supporting the financial operations. I enjoy that because the larger the business and the more touch points from different team members, you see the core of the business is the accounting. So making sure that all of the workflows are properly supporting the procedures related to accounting. That's what I really love to do.
Yeah, that sounds great. I mean, and so in terms of behind, indeed, works in mysterious ways. So in terms of what does a good client look like for you then? If you're going to be selective, what is it? Sector specific? Is it size? Is it, you tell me.
Yeah, for me, it hasn't been size. And again, all these years in business, anytime I've spoken to a marketing person, they're like, oh, you need to find your niche. So no, it hasn't been size and it hasn't been industry, to sound as crunchy as possible. It's more like vibe. Right. So
Yeah,
it's more of the connection. Is this a client? What are their goals with their business? Are they
yeah,
looking to grow? Are they coachable? Do they respond to the emails? Do they get me the paperwork that I need? What is the working relationship like? So that's always important. I do really well with service-based businesses, not so much into like that WIP and inventory stuff, on the bigger scale of manufacturers and things like that. So
yeah,
service-based companies, they're easy to kind of implement workflows.
yeah.
E-com, it's great too, as long as there's like a strong platform in the background. But really, I love showing up wherever I could be a solution. So mainly companies that are filing sales tax, if they have employees like 10 or more, that's always great because we could put some light HR duties in there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's quite like good because the relationships is really important, right? Isn't it? Because if you are going to be that business partner, right, you need to be able to work with people, like you say, and be able to get on day to day, and be able to have a relationship whereby your guidance and your counsel is taken for what it's worth, right? And so you need to do that. So it's interesting how you see that as a key driver for your client base.
Oh, yeah.
It's an interesting perspective. So what does the next what have you got planned for the next year then? If that's the sort of the vision in the future, what's on hot off the press for you?
Well, something that I'm really looking to do now is, as I mentioned, the service and the quality
Yep.
of the work that we're providing is really important to me. So I'm
Hmm.
looking to build my offshore back office, as a lot of professionals are, outsourcing to different firms and individuals offshore. I'm really looking to build a back office, Kelly Works International,
Yep.
where can have individuals trained up to speed, picking up our culture, picking up our tone, and our employees essentially at Kelly
Amazing.
Works. Going to do this in Uganda.
Wow, that sounds like an exciting project.
Yeah.
Why Uganda specifically? Is there any draw for you there, or why?
Yes, I have quite a few connections there already. I've been building out with an accountant there already, so it's
Yeah,
already kind of in the works.
yeah,
English is the first language. Some great connections with universities, so getting these
yeah.
students right as they come out from school, and to
Great.
get. I mean, you think about it as almost like a staffing agency
Yeah,
essentially, and training them up to do the work properly. I think that's been a really new trend. I mean, my phone and emails are constantly being flooded with offshore firms offering their accounting services, which
really.
is
Okay, that's
nice.
interesting.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure what it's like for you, but yeah, tons and tons. We can do your bookkeeping, we can do this
Yeah.
for cheap rate, yada yada. And it all sounds good, but when you're bringing someone in to do this, you want to make sure, like I said, that they align with your values and the mission and the service that you want to provide to your client. In Uganda, and like I said, Uganda, English is the first language.
Hmm.
Accounting is a really strong subject that's taught there as well at the
Okay.
university. So yeah, I'm just looking to, and I love it there. It's a beautiful,
Right, amazing. Yeah, never been, but heard many good
used
things.
to, yeah,
Sorry, it's a good
a
place
nice
to go.
excuse. Is
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Well, that sounds like yeah, some exciting 12 months ahead of you in that regard, and a lot of work, needless to say. But
yeah.
you know, Yeah, but it sounds like so it feels like things are going well. You've got a lot of clients coming in that necessitates the expansion. Is that the reality? You're
Yeah.
seeing a client base
Yeah.
focus.
Yeah, expanding in the right way, making sure that although we're taking on new clients, that we're able to still deliver that quality service. That's
Yeah,
been most important to me. More than volume, more than KPIs and all that good stuff is
yeah.
really a good client experience.
So just in terms of what you're seeing from your clients, then are there expectation changes? Are there requirements for new services? What behavior are you seeing from these guys now? Is it changing?
It's been interesting when I'll talk to other professionals, other accounting professionals. My clients seem to lean on me a little more. I don't know if it's the mother in me or what, but
Okay.
I get I get a lot. I get pictures texted, "Hey, we got this notice in the mail, not sure what this is, not sure what
Yeah.
that is." So, I could probably do a better job of, like, building out a buildable scope. Again, like I said, we're kind of more of that back office support, so when they get documents from the state that they're not sure about, yeah, that's definitely coming to us versus
Mm.
them probably sending it, their attorney or someone else. I know clients are definitely in love with budgets. That's major. They want to know cash flow. And especially
Yeah.
with service-based clients,
Yeah.
kind of letting them know if they have the monthly reoccurring revenue, that's always great. But if they're selling a product, trying to kind of give them trends based on where they were in the years before, all that good stuff. But yeah, I feel that that's the biggest need, that's the biggest cry. And everyone's wanting to scale, 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 and bring on staff. And I'm noticing a lot of clients are bringing on international team members, and mainly
Okay.
in the Philippines.
Right.
Mm.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. So the
Yeah.
outsourcing is a big play then you're seeing within the accounting firms then, or just general firms in general then. Interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, almost all of my clients have someone on the roster,
Mm.
that's a key person that's overseas. It's been interesting what's happened. I guess we can attribute it to COVID, but when the world changed, we can just say that how easy it is now to get support elsewhere. I
Yeah.
feel like here in the States, you don't see it as much. A lot of companies are still remote. So people are working remote. They're working two jobs and
Hmm.
then it's kind of like easy lifting. Companies are outsourcing.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's a global economy now, isn't it? As well, with
Mm.
different countries is not so much of an issue, and we're seeing that with other people that we're speaking to as well around that requirement to outsource because you can access talent in other countries. Um, Often you can add the additional time. Time you can work longer because you're working in different time zones as well, so you're sort of more productive equally that you can less money in these territories as well. So there's a lot of benefits for that. I mean, in terms of just interested to know about sort of getting talent within the US at the moment. Do
Mhm.
you struggle doing that at all? Was that a driver for going to Uganda, or were you just sort of rebalancing your books effectively?
No, having a team in the US is essential, because those are
Yeah.
typically the ones that are client facing. Those are your reviewers, your quality control, right? Because there's a trend in spending and understanding some of these places and kind of understanding the scope of business. So there is definitely still a need here for in the US, but outsourcing is more on the data entry side. So
Yeah.
you can
Okay.
kind of you can take on larger volume. Yes, and I've outsourced before to India and had
Hmm.
some folks in Pakistan before and the Philippines.
Okay. So you're
And
well
it's
versed.
interesting. Yeah, you get to experience it's different cultures. And I'm a world traveler, so I enjoy it as well. How about in the UK? Do you guys particularly outsource or
Yeah, absolutely. Typically, India is obviously a big in the Philippines, certainly from financial perspective and technology. But there's a
yeah,
lot of sort of outsourcing going on to what we call Eastern European, so countries like Romania, Poland,
mhm,
Bulgaria as well.
Georgia?
So yeah, it's happening a lot. And yeah, it's I think the way of the world now, isn't it? As well, and it's the key is to balance the profile so that there's enough onshore that you're doing the right things onshore
Mm.
versus the offshore model. So it sounds like you're cognizant that you need to get that balance right, and making sure you got the right staff in the US and the right staff in Uganda. No, sounds like you're following the
Yeah.
right path there. In terms of, say,
Yeah.
like technology, AI, where would you say you are in terms of your journey in that? You've talked a lot about operational efficiency and workflow and that type of thing. Sounds like do you use tech in order to enable that for you?
I would say we're doing more with AI and tech related to client to communication
Yep.
and the service delivery, not so much the accounting work. We
Yep.
use QuickBooks, the majority of
Yep.
our clients, and QuickBooks has done some cute little things with regards to, efficiency and AI. But it's more optimizing the team's workflow that we use it. Obviously, note takers, having those in the Zoom meetings so that after the meetings, things can get done, you know, properly right away, pushing it into the project management software, the project management software connecting to the other portals that's needed, some support with email drafting. Like I said, it's super, super email heavy, the firm.
Mhm.
So making sure that the client communications through email and the workflow, the delivery to the client. But as far
Yeah.
as the actual accounting work, not so much. I haven't found a tool yet.
Mm.
Although I'm supposed to be having a meeting, I think next week, with someone who's built a competitor to software like QuickBooks, but it's more AI
Oh,
generated. You could ask it questions. We'll see. Everybody's got
cool.
a solution.
Yeah.
So they
All you
got a
got
solution.
to do now is find a problem, right? That's the key. Excellent. So yeah, sounds like everything's going really well. I mean, is there anything frustrating you? What's going on at the moment?
Frustrations. I would say maybe frustrations can just be industry wide, how
Yeah.
folks are thinking that AI can replace an accountant, or, I guess the nerves around the AI as opposed to realizing that it's something to enhance
Mhm.
experiences and enhance workflows, not necessary to replace it. Especially when I see ads now, it's like they're offering the bookkeeping for like dirt cheap. And it's just like, how do you compete with that? But at the same time, I don't want to compete with it.
Well, and I think, like you say, USP is your service, right, and the extra that you provide, because that's what if people are coming to you as your first port of call instead of going to the lawyer or the solicitor, Kelly, what's this all about? And you're the trusted advisor. That's no piece of AI can replace that. That context, human
Exactly.
interaction that is always going to be important, and people pay a premium for.
Mhm.
So interesting. Okay, very good. So this is final question, right? And this is, I ask everyone this. So
Mhm.
just one piece of advice would you give the young Kelly Lewis that would have stood her in good stead for her journey into finance?
Oh, I would revert back to pricing, and because the young me, she was so young and cute. She had no idea how to charge, how to charge. So I would say getting really, really clear on the scope of work and the experience, the onboarding experience, and really outlining step for step with the client, since being in the finance space, it's not so much like a one and done. And I think it's kind of been an internal thing for me, is like, you know, once you look under the hood, realizing like, hey, I might need to adjust that setup fee that I gave you because it's much more work now.
Yeah,
I've always kind of just, oh, we'll include it. So
yeah,
I wish I done that sooner,
right.
learned a little sooner than later. So that would be the advice that I would give to any accounting professional, is to really charge according to the workload.
Makes sense. That makes sense. Wonderful.
Was
Good
that
piece of
good
advice, I
advice?
think. No, it's great advice. You got to drive that recurring revenue, haven't you? So yeah, no, it's very good. So Kelly, if people want to find out a little bit more about you and your business, where do they need to go?
Okay, so the website is kellyworks.com. Kelly's with an I. My Instagram handle, which is a little bit more me and my life, it's Kelly Works underscore. And I'm also on LinkedIn, Kelli Lewis, and Kelly Works Accounting Firm on LinkedIn as well. And I love to chat business. This is my passion. I feel super grateful and blessed to just love my work and love it every day.
That's a great message. And equally, we're grateful for having you on as well, Kelly, and you giving your valuable time, because it sounds like you're a busy person. And, all those years ago when you were poking your nose in those pay slips, looking how much people are paid, I think that curiosity stood you in good stead for the future. And it sounds like Kelly Works is going places. And I think, look forward to hearing more about what your journey into, setting up in Uganda and, expanding overseas as well. So it feels like an exciting space to be. And I wish you all the best for the future. Thank you for coming and speaking to us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And just remember, Kelly works so you don't have
Amen. Thank you.
to. Right. Thanks, Matthew.